This is the Marketing Umbrella Podcast, where it's all about getting the information you need from successful leading marketers to build and grow your digital marketing agency. Brought to you by Itamar Shafir, founder and CEO of Umbrella, the technology platform and brand that is powering thousands of marketing agencies around the country. Find him at umbrellaus.com. Now, here's your host, Kevin Pruitt.
This is the Marketing Umbrella Podcast, and our guest today is a lifelong digital marketer, public speaker, host of the TikTok podcast Business Talk, and also the CEO of Syllabi, a brand new marketing tool that helps business owners create a social media content strategy in minutes. He's posted thousands of videos on TikTok, tripling his own business's revenue and helping thousands more across his clients' accounts. He's also leveraged his success on TikTok to gain, listen to this, millions of followers across every social media platform. He loves sharing strategies that work, and he wants them to empower you. Please welcome Austin Armstrong to the Marketing Umbrella Podcast. Austin, thanks for joining us.
Kevin, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity. It's a privilege to be here.
I've spent a little bit of this morning kind of looking at some YouTube videos, maybe just some brief demos of Syllabi and kind of the use case there. But man, the first thing I want to do is that was a very short bio, kind of almost self-deprecating. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. So round it out a little bit. Give people a little better foundation of who Austin is.
Yeah, sure. So I was fortunate enough to find my true calling in life when I was about 14 years old. So I got started on social media in the MySpace days. I stumbled into it. I fell in love immediately with growing accounts, gaining large amounts of following, monetizing it in different ways, and even partnering with friends to build websites to help other people grow their following online. This was 19, almost 20 years ago at this point, and I've pretty much been doing it ever since. So fast forward to about 11 years ago now is where I started my professional career in video marketing. So I started as an unpaid intern at a video marketing agency that specialized in the behavioral health space, drug and alcohol treatment centers, psychologists, therapists, whole nine yards in that space. And I worked my way up. I absolutely loved it. This is when I moved from New Jersey to California to start fresh for various reasons. But I went from unpaid intern to a paid intern to a part-time employee to a full-time employee. My boss became my mentor and now business partner. I had become head of digital marketing for several drug and alcohol treatment centers. And about 5.5 years ago, I started my first company, which is called Socialty Pro, which is a video marketing social media agency, as well as SEO. And I was kind of behind the scenes from year 11 to year 5.5 ago. And so when I started my company, that's when I got back into the front seat, building my personal brand online and really leading by example online. And shortly after that, I had actually gotten fired from my job, middle of COVID, right at the beginning of COVID. I think it was like June 2020 is when I got fired. My company was still a part-time hustle at the time being. And I was faced with that entrepreneurial decision of, do I try and find another job in the middle of a pandemic, or do I bet on myself, see what I'm made of, take my destiny, see what I can do? And I decided to take that initiative, bet on myself, go all in on entrepreneurship. Even more so, I, for some reason, decided to go all in on TikTok marketing. It was a hot new platform at the time. I got in pretty early. Found out that short form video is for me. That is my format of content that I've been waiting for. So I grew a very large following on TikTok. I leveraged that to gain millions of followers across every social media platform. That's just where the market went. And then kind of through that process, what led me to ultimately creating Syllabi is that we were developing repeatable strategies for growing organically in different industries with short form video
Like just
and
things you're just learning, but like
content. Yeah,
based on your own needs. Yeah.
absolutely. Like what was working for me was working for our clients. And so I had gotten to a point where I'm like, well, this can, I think, largely be done with software. And so I
Mm.
began to develop it. And then we hit the AI boom. So I was developing syllabi before ChatGPT had come out, before OpenAI's API and like all of these AI tools. So we were pretty early in the marketing tool spot with development.
Yep.
And then, AI exploded and one thing led to another. And that's kind of
What great
the
timing.
summary of the last 9 years. Yeah, I made two, well, three, I guess, really good bets back to back. I bet on myself. I went all in on short form video, which is still the most important format of style. And then I pivoted my content strategy to AI, which is obviously has exploded. And so I kind of just got fortunate pairing what my interests were with business. And so, all three of those things, like, betting on myself, of course, but short form video and AI back to back were just really good decisions in retrospect.
So I mean, it seems like the kind of the genesis of syllabi is like, hey, this is just kind of the learnings that we learned what worked for me. I learned what worked for our clients. Now, how do we kind of scale this and make this? But I think there was one question that you asked yourself that is so pertinent kind of in the whole SaaS space. Like, how do we automate this?
Yeah.
How do we make this, for a mass use case, not just you know what, we can scale it to 50 agencies or 25 agencies or whatever, but it's limited by me. How do we take me out of the mix?
Yeah.
The whole idea that it's so tell me how, I mean, syllabi seems so AI centric.
Mhm.
What was it? What was syllabi 1.0? If you said it's
Yeah.
kind of predating, AI, to me, that would be like it wouldn't even be the same product, type thing. So what did it
Oh
look like?
no, it's changed. So we've been around a little over a year and a half now, and it's pretty insane how far it's come and how powerful it is right now. Version one, to your point, how do I automate this? I was actually looking at, what is the most tedious part of my job as an agency owner, the most time intensive thing, and it was developing content strategies.
Hmm.
So we have like an onboarding call with new clients, and then I would spend 6 to 12 hours developing custom content strategies based on their needs. And I was like, man, I wish I could automate this. So that was the original idea, is to build sort of an internal software to develop content strategies. And then it sort of became, along the process for it became uh, the public facing syllabi 1.0, which was developing a content strategy, script writing,
Hmm.
content ideas, and a social media calendar. So when we launched Syllabi, basically we had integrated with a Google search oriented keyword tool. So you could type in your niche and it'd give you a bunch of topic ideas and questions that people are searching for online.
Yep.
And then you could generate a video script specifically around that question. Because part of my philosophy is that social media is a search engine. People just look for information a little bit differently than they do on Google search, and it's largely untapped as a search engine. And then accountability and consistency tracker. So you can, create the videos of you reading the scripts and have them in an organized content calendar, mark as complete, and build that consistency.
Hmm.
And so we still have that fundamental those fundamental elements there, but it's gotten so much more powerful. We actually create videos now in multiple different ways.
Yeah.
So you don't even need to record the video anymore if you don't want to. You
Right.
can.
Right.
But we generate faceless videos. We
Hmm.
have deep fake avatar technology. We have talking photo technology. And then you can even schedule and publish it right to your social media accounts. We have directly integrated with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn, and you can, within less than 3 minutes, you can find a topic in question that your customer is searching for, generate a script, create a social media ready video, schedule and publish it to all of your social media platforms simultaneously. And we even have analytics built in as well. So you can check the
Hmm.
analytics of your videos that are scheduled. So it
On the
really is
video
just
itself or on the different platforms?
on the video itself. So any video that you publish from Syllabi, you can look at that video and see the analytics of how many views it got, how
Right.
many likes and comments that it got, and some more detailed information. We
Yeah.
connect all of that. But yeah, it's like a high level, like if you're not ready for an agency, like you can pay $25 a month and do basically what an agency does, at least to get you started.
I you hear in the news from time to time, oh, we're going to ban TikTok in the States or whatever. So what do you
Nah.
think the impact would be on your work if that actually happened, or how does that hit the marketing world if we, Congress just comes out and says, oh, by the way, TikTok is such a security breach, whatever the reasons are, they're going to go, you can't use TikTok anymore in the States. How would that affect you?
Personally, I don't think it's ever going to happen for a couple reasons. I mean, like even Donald Trump came out and said recently, like, I'm saving TikTok. And so it's become
His
such
new
a
voting platform, I'm saving TikTok.
I mean, both Trump and Kamala are both active on TikTok right now, and they're
Hmm.
using it to get younger voters.
Hmm.
So they understand the power of it. It is so ingrained in our society at this point. They rolled out shopping
Yeah.
in the last year as well. Businesses rely on TikTok. And even if they, the most recent thing, which was a couple months ago, it got to the highest level, but they're going to appeal, and it's going to be a never-ending legal battle.
Hmm.
That's why it's not, it wouldn't get banned in the same way that it got banned in India or another country,
Hmm.
for instance, is because of our legal system here, and constantly disputing that. So even if they did, it's not going to be for years and years and years. It just, I don't think it's even going to happen. But with that, I mean, it's always important to diversify your marketing efforts. I
Hmm.
mean, if you're only on, this was a valuable lesson that I learned. Like when I was just on TikTok, I had gotten my account banned at one point, and that was primarily where all of my followers were. And so I
Hmm.
said, oh, I've got to figure out all these other platforms.
Yeah.
I've got to figure out the nuances of short form video. And so if you're already, first of all, if you're already creating content for TikTok, just post those videos on Instagram Reels, Facebook
Hmm.
Reels, YouTube
Yep.
Shorts, all of these big platforms that are embracing short form video. You should be diversifying
Hmm.
100%. But yeah, I honestly don't think it's going to get banned.
I think that's a good business practice, regardless, even
Yeah.
even investment practice,
Oh,
diversify.
100%.
So
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
idea that, when you look at kind of the short form video content under the different platforms, even the format is very similar.
Yeah.
Like the way that it sits on the page, whether you're using a mobile device or desktop. But I you mentioned something earlier, and I think sometimes we almost like can conflate these two things. I mean, you mentioned deep fake avatars, and you also mentioned faceless videos. So let's first thing I want to do is let's talk about the deep fake
Mhm.
avatars, and
Yeah.
and let me give you a situation that actually is real life, real time.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
there was a college football coach, not a head coach, but one of the assistant coaches, who someone created a press conference with him sitting at a table
Yep.
saying ridiculous things, and it absolutely looked 100% genuine. I mean, it was his face, it was his voice, it was his mannerisms, it was everything about it. But there was no way that this guy would have, come out and said that. If he would have, they'd have fired him, within 15 minutes of the press conference. But I'm thinking, what a wild west,
Yeah.
you know, scenario that we're looking at right now. I mean, what
Mhm.
talk about just that whole, I can create a video with your face, your voice, and virtually get you to say whatever I want to. I mean, what in the world are we headed toward?
Yeah, it's a ethical, scary dilemma with this technology. We fully embrace the ethical, positive use cases of this. So
Hmm.
any avatar that's created within syllabi, you have to have video and audio express consent that you are giving us permission to process this
Hmm.
avatar for yourself. We don't just process everybody's avatars.
Yep.
You have to, confirm and provide that you are giving us permission to do this, and it is only accessible in your account. So
Oh, that's good.
for a privacy stance, like nobody, like I can't talk on behalf of other tools out there. I know there's a lot of
Hmm.
other avatar tools. Most of them have similar policies to this. Um, that you can't do that. Of course, there's third party tools. Of course, there's
Yep.
people developing this own technology for their own malicious
Right.
cases.
Nefarious use cases.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. That is not the AI that I partake in.
Yeah.
I, am very much a proponent of positive use cases of AI and using this to be more productive and more creative
Hmm.
and increase your outputs. And there's so many amazing use cases. So that's my take on it.
That's good.
I think it should be regulated. To be honest, I think there is no circumstance where a person should be able to create a deep fake of somebody else without their permission.
Yep.
I cannot see a single use case for that.
Hmm.
To be honest, I mean, maybe bringing loved ones back to life. We've seen that with some talking photo stuff.
Mm.
Um, but like even there is like really a strange moral gray area.
Yep.
But it is the Wild West, like you're saying.
I mean, you can tarnish the reputation of somebody that's passed away. I mean,
Oh yeah,
there's a I think there's a real danger
yeah,
in that space. But
yeah.
so let's shift more to kind of the faceless,
Hmm.
content, because I mean, you talk about a hot topic right now, and like
Yeah.
every little short form video and little sales ad you're going to get on social right now, talking about you create all this video, faceless video. I'm never on camera. I've
Yeah.
got an avatar. It's like I said, it's like the old late night, the what is it, the set it and forget it, you
Yeah.
just kind of plug and play. But talk about, face of the benefits of this, why
Hmm.
you would do this versus, hey, I want to maximize on all this eye candy here,
Yeah.
this guy right here. So, what walk through that process of, pros and cons with
Yeah.
face content.
Yeah. So, firstly, what a faceless video is means faceless, right? There's
Hmm.
no face. It's all typically B-roll oriented video or AI generated imagery or AI generated videos with subtitles and audio over top of it. There is no
So it's not
human.
just not your face. It's not any particular primary face.
Correct. No,
Okay.
there's no
All right.
face.
Let's
No
see, that
face
that
in the
helps.
video.
That helps define it. I think I looked at it like, hey, I've got a face for radio, so I want to have an avatar that's a good looking, 35-year-old versus, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Uh-huh.
So, however, that is a good distinction, right? Like there is a nuance of creators that have like an AI generated image of themselves and they're sort of using that as the spokesperson. I suppose that could be labeled as faceless as well. I
Mhm.
think like typically by definition there is no face
Yeah.
in the there's no talking head, whether
Yeah.
it's AI generated imagery or it's actually you. And so there's a lot of benefits to that. I mean, one, like you said, face for radio,
Hmm.
or maybe you are not able to be on camera for whatever
Right.
reason. Maybe you're in a highly regulated industry,
Mm.
and you
Good.
work for a company that has like strict non-competes with you, that you are
Hmm.
not allowed to talk about this subject matter on your own. That there are industries that are like, whatever, you don't want your friends and family to see it. You're self-conscious. You have a bad hair day, whatever. It doesn't matter, right? There are still opportunities like these faceless videos for you to create content and get your expertise out there, your opinions out there, your interests out there as well. And so they've over the last 2 years, they've become really popular as a form of content. They're really engaging. They're interesting to watch. I enjoy watching them in all kinds of different niches, movies, fun facts, ancient history. Plenty of business related faceless channels in real estate and legal, so many different industries. And with AI, it's incredibly simple to make these videos now. So in Syllabi, I mean, we just launched this a month ago, July 15th. So I think today is the 1 month mark that we released this thing. And it is addicting, to say the
Mhm.
least. Like, I am addicted to using our own faceless tool, and so many of our users are saying the same thing as well, which is awesome. Because in 3 minutes, I can make a complete video on any topic. The entire script is generated for me. The video is generated for me. The subtitles are automatically added.
Wow.
I can have my own AI voice in it, or I can use one of the stock AI voices. So like, I
Hmm.
have my AI voice cloned. And so if I want to have my voice in the videos, I can do that, or I can use one of the like 30 stock voices that we have. And then again, like, I can within Syllabi, I can schedule and publish it immediately. And so our team is growing like
Yep. No studio
30.
needed,
No
no
studio
time
needed.
commitment. Yeah. Yeah.
And these videos and these channels are growing like crazy right now because
Hmm.
people love this style of content. So our team, just at Syllabi, we're managing about 25 to 30 different faceless channels, and we're kind of building our own army of channels that point back into Syllabi.
Hmm.
It's like a crazy marketing strategy. But like, I'm fascinated by ancient history. And so like, I
Hmm.
have an ancient history facts channel that's like 4,300 subscribers, has 600,000 views, and every video on there is made in Syllabi. And it took me like 3 minutes to make each video. Like, I can make a video that I know is going to perform well in bed, in the bathroom,
That's
in line
incredible.
at Starbucks, while my wife is in the bathroom and we're at the restaurant, or,
Mhm.
whatever. Like, there's no barriers anymore. To kind of get back to it, like, social media is has changed my life, and my whole why is to provide the tips, tools, and strategies to change other people's lives as well. And so, like, what I've really tried to accomplish here is, I don't want you to make any excuse at all anymore. You can't afford it? Come on, it's
Mm.
$25 a month. You can cut your Starbucks for 3 days. You don't
Yeah,
like being on
exactly.
camera? No problem. Make a faceless video or an AI avatar. You need help staying consistent and accountable? We have a content calendar. You don't have time to publish it to all of your social media platforms? In 3 clicks, you can schedule it to every social media
Mm.
platform. There's just no excuse anymore. We've tried to make it as simple as possible.
That is absolutely amazing. I walked through, you said about a year and a half ago is when you kind of launched Syllabi.
Yeah.
So what's that hockey stick, up and to the right growth pattern you've seen in the last year and a half?
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's not all sunshine and rainbows a little bit
What?
in startup life. No. So,
Entrepreneurship is always
oh
all
yeah, so
sunshine and
entrepreneurship's
rainbows.
easy. Oh, it's just the easiest thing in the world. Everybody should do it.
Start a company, they said. It'll be
Yeah,
fun, they
yeah.
said.
So when we started, we were a rocket ship. I mean, we hit a million ARR from an MRR perspective in 6 months and I think 12 days.
Wow.
Huge 88K MRR, massive successful growth. And then we slowly have been dipping the last, like, I don't know, 9 months or something. And in the last 2 months, we made some really key pivots. We continue to work on the UI and overall
Hmm.
experience. We do customer interviews every
Hmm.
single day. We're a very public, build in public oriented company. And so now we're like the hockey stick. Now we're
Yep.
skyrocketing back up. Our churn has been going down 5 months in a row. Our trial counts have been going up. Our trial conversion amounts have going up. Our MRR is going up. Our subscribers are going. So everything's going back up, and it's just that tenacity. And
Hmm.
it's. I'm not going to BS you and say it's been the whole time. It's been amazing. No, that's not reality. I'd be lying if I was saying that. But um, it's
But
a
you're
really
responsive.
exciting time.
I mean,
Oh,
you're trying to listen. Like I would imagine you're, as they're going out the back door, you're probably saying, okay, what caused you to not
Oh,
renew this?
absolutely.
What caused you to? And that is such good learning,
Yeah,
on just feedback from clients
absolutely.
and build that in. I remember an interview I was doing, a chat we had. It was a few months ago, and I was talking to a guy who was building a pretty complicated SaaS product.
Hmm.
And he said, "Yeah, we are constantly. It's like this constant feedback loop
Yeah.
of listeners."
Yep.
And I said, "How do you determine what features to build?
Mm.
If you got 15 different responses and 15 different things people want, 15 different features they want you to add to sell a buy or whatever. Do you have an internal process? Do you have that says, okay, we gotta have this many people that have said they want it. It's gotta be within this price range. I mean, how do you determine what are the new features you keep adding to sell by?
Yeah. So the good thing now is that we're largely at where we wanted to be feature wise,
Mm-hmm.
within the last couple of months. And so now we're in refinement. We're in a
Yeah.
refinement area how do we improve all of the existing features that we have? We made this
Mm.
decision as a team several months ago that like we're not really going to add, like we have our product roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
After we completed these, and faceless videos was the basically final thing on the product roadmap that we
Mm-hmm.
had. Um, Now it's just perfecting everything that we have,
Mm-hmm.
because we have a lot of features. We have content, idea discovery area, script writing area, three different video type area. We built a custom video editor. We have custom content calendar. We have
Multi-language.
multi-language support,
Mhm.
scheduling, and direct interfaces with every social media platform and displays.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of little nuances
Yeah.
that we need to improve upon to make what we have as perfect and as sticky as possible and as useful as
Hmm.
possible across the board. There are little things like pricing updates. Like we're on a credit system right now, and a lot of people don't like the credit system because it's slightly confusing, right? So we're working on switching from a credit system to like you get 20 minutes of video per month, like set clear, understandable
Hmm.
deliverables that you don't have to do math
Yeah.
on. Like
And it's
so,
a
like little
ticker, like it's counting
yeah.
backwards at the top of your account page or whatever. So
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
like there are little things like that that like I
Hmm.
don't like it, our users don't like it, and so we're eventually moving away from it. Um, we just recently added something on the website called Feature Base, which is like a upvoting system
Hmm.
for new feature requests.
Just Reddit,
So yeah, Reddit,
Reddit or
exactly.
product hunt. Yeah, that's right.
100%. It's exactly like that. So users can suggest features. They
Mm.
can upvote other people's feature requests and leave comments on there. And so we're taking that into consideration as well. But we're very build in public, and we have been from the moment I got the idea
Hmm.
of Syllabi. And so it's always been about user feedback.
Yeah.
It's always been about user suggestions. I mean, we know, and we have our processes.
Hmm.
We're an agile sprint cycle company. We have our backlogs. We rank everything by priorities. We go through that, but we know clearly what we are, what we want to become. And
Yeah.
so we've had plenty of feature creep where we're like, this is an awesome idea.
Sure.
Like we built like we're a video marketing tool to help businesses get leads and creators monetize, right? And so like at one point I was like, let's build a CRM to like capture and do the full sort of the cycle thing. And we ended up actually sort of building the CRM. It's like a high level white label, if you're familiar with high level.
Hmm.
And it's actually built out. But we got to a point where we're like, let's take a breathe. Let's take a step back. Let's look at this. Like, is this a, a part of our mission of being the best video marketing tool on the market? Is it cool? Yes. Does it fit within that idea of being the best video marketing tool? Not really. Not really.
Mm.
It's a stretch item. And so we killed it. And we're not afraid to kill ideas. Uh,
That's a good leader right
all of
there.
us all
That
of
was
us would
your
create.
idea.
It was my idea. And I talked to, the team, and like everybody on our team has a voice as well. And so
Hmm.
like I've brought up, things that I'm like, oh, I think this is going to be it. This is awesome. This is awesome. And then all of the team is like, no, this is probably not a good idea. Here's why, and here's evidence to back it up.
Yep.
And I don't try to come into anything with ego. And you're
Hmm.
right. You're right. This is a team effort.
Yep.
I'm going to lead this, but you guys always have a say as well. And that's the type of leader that I try to be. So that's a long-winded
Yep.
answer for all of that, but hopefully there were some good golden
Hey, that
nuggets.
you certainly hit on the primary points I was wanting you to touch on, and yeah, hey, and then you wrapped it up with, like, how do you lead well? How do you listen and respond, and
Mhm.
it is a team effort,
Yep.
so. Um, Two things I just want to touch on really quickly as we're kind of wrapping up here. One is, if our audience obviously is marketing agency owners and
Mhm.
those in the marketing space. So describe, just pretty briefly, just describe kind of what is the use case, for as an agency owner is kind of looking at this tool. What
Oh
what are
yeah.
some ways that you've seen it work really well with clients?
Oh, easy. I mean, I was an agency owner
Hmm.
for 5 years. I worked in 10 years. I mean, imagine never having to force your client to record ever again in order to create consistent content. I mean, that is the biggest pain point of a video marketing focused agency, is just locking down the client to frickin' record.
Yep. Yeah.
Get on a record. You can get them to record once, you can film their avatar, and you can create content at scale
Mm.
for all of your clients. So like an agency could sign up for a Syllabi account and they could run all of their clients through Syllabi and manage it. And you could post daily content to all of their social media with faceless videos, with avatar
Hmm.
videos, and then you mix in whatever other content that you want for the brand typically. But let Syllabi be the powerhouse specifically for your video marketing efforts. We're built for that.
Yep. It's interesting how quickly you've changed in the last 18 months. Prognosticate out, they say the next 18, 24 months. Where do you think that this AI generated content is headed? What is the next iteration that we haven't seen yet, in your opinion?
Well, some things that we're working on is we're really going deep in faceless video right now because it's so hot, it's so trending, and there are other tools out there. But I think because of all of the features from A to Z that we have, we are really primed to be the leader in the faceless video space, because most of them don't have the idea discovery or it's like AI generated.
Hmm.
And then the vast majority of them also don't have direct scheduling and publishing to your social media nor track analytics. So you have to like manually download every single video. You don't have to do that in
Hmm.
Syllabi. With that being said, we're tackling long form next. So all of the faceless is currently short form, focused on shorts, but we're developing long form faceless videos right now. That's going to be big. An expansion of the actual deliverable. So like the AI videos itself right now are custom AI generated images based on the script, but this technology is getting better where the actual images are becoming animated, right? And so we're
Wow.
now able with AI to animate and move images. So that's going to be a next evolution for us
Mm.
as well. Is really like the best thing I don't know, this might be super niche, but there's like a, a trend called dark fantasy on TikTok, and I think they absolutely crush this, where it's like a picture of like a knight in front of a castle in a dark, moody, theme, right? And then like it's the picture is animated and moving, and it's like our dream state. So like just really cool enhancements to that technology. Some other things that I'm playing around, and like I mentioned as well, to digress here just for a second, is just perfecting everything that we
Yeah.
currently have as well. There are some other like multi-seat agency, more agency supportive features that we're going to be rolling out to make it even easier for agencies to adopt us for multi-clients. Um, And then another idea that I'm playing around with is how we can help creators monetize, because that's
Mhm.
a big thing as well. I love what Beehive has done in particular. I don't know
Mhm.
if you're familiar with
Mhm.
Beehive. They're a new email marketing software, but one thing in particular that they did that is so brilliant is they have a built-in monetization, multiple built-in monetization avenues within their platform that like MailChimp doesn't have, Constant
Mhm.
Contact doesn't have, MailerLite doesn't have. Like none of these email marketing softwares have these monetization features that Beehive has built in. This like ad network, this grow your own newsletter by sponsoring or by paying to be put in front of other newsletters. They have this just amazing network. So I'm trying to think of different ideas of how we can build something like that in as well, so that you don't only have to create the videos, but it's
Yeah.
really easy to monetize the videos as well.
That is we're gonna have you on in a couple of years just to see just, if I'm still around, just to
If
say
I'm still around, I mean, I
no,
don't,
if I'm still around. That's
who
right.
go, oh, if you're still
Yeah,
around, oh
that's right.
gosh, my goal is to get acquired at some point, but that
There you
probably
go.
for a couple of years. So,
There you go. Um, Muay Thai, really?
hmm,
You
yeah, I
wouldn't
still
show up
train.
with your little armlets or whatever they're called that with
Yeah, well,
the little
yeah, the
ribbons and
arm
stuff. And
armbands. My first, there's not really a ranking system in Muay Thai, but in America they've tried to because like to compete with karate a little bit, like the belt system. And so like the first gym that I went to, there was like a ranked armband system, but that's not like there's no like ranked armband system in Thailand, for instance.
I love it. Well, hey, I know you mentioned that, kind of on our intro
Yeah,
template, but
yeah. What was the question? Like,
I
what's a
wanted to
hobby
make
people
sure
don't
we
know
touched
about
on that. But
you?
I want to shift right now to our rapid fire, and this is
Okay.
our time that we got to have our disparate question. You're going to go, what the
Sure.
crazy question this guy's asking? But hey, there's
Let's
a
do it.
method to the madness here. But
All
just
right.
very short answers. First thing that comes to mind, really quickly.
You
Did
bet.
you get along with your parents growing up?
No.
I was going to say, relative to everyone else. That's right. Do you have siblings?
I have one full sister and several half siblings.
Do you have a pet or pets?
I have one dog. She's an Australian Shepherd named Maddie. She is the best.
And always at your heels and nips at your
Complete Velcro dog.
kids.
No kids.
What time on a work day do you wake up in the morning?
Later than you'd think. Typically like 9 a.m. I get started.
And what time do you go to bed on work day?
Well, 11 or 12 midnight.
Ideal vacation spot, money not an object.
I mean, I love probably Europe multi-city backpacking trip.
Hmm. Any particular country that just stands out in your mind?
I mean, my wife and I have gone to a bunch of different. We did the Europe backpack trip. I mean, Germany was amazing. Budapest was amazing. We've been all over
Prague.
England. We've been to Prague. Prague was beautiful. Prague
Yeah,
was like
Prague's a beautiful city.
storybook with the cobblestones on the
Hmm.
streets. I mean, it's just too many
Too many to mention.
too many to mention. And yeah, I've traveled a lot, which is I'm very fortunate to.
Is there an intersection of faith and work?
I'm a spiritual person.
Mhm.
I grew up Christian. It doesn't really. The short answer is no. I don't
Mhm.
bring faith into my business.
If you were king for a day in the marketing climate, what is one thing you would change?
King for the day in the marketing compliant.
Yeah.
I would uh, uh, ban gatekeeping because I think it's important to give your best information away for free. So
Mm.
I would force all of the marketers to give their best information away for free to just empower other people.
And Austin, this has been such a great chat today. Man, I could just like leave the recorder going and just keep asking questions and keep chatting about this, because it is such an important, topic right now. Such a perfect timing, I don't want to overuse the word, but this really is a zeitgeist, moment for AI and AI generated content. And just,
Yeah.
I love what you guys are building there.
Thank you.
It's just really interesting to see. And I encourage our listeners to, go take a look at this at syllabi.io, correct? That's the web.
Yeah, correct. And if anyone's listening to this, if you use the code challenge, you can save 25% as well.
Well, that is great to know. 25% discount using the code challenge. I guess that's on checkout.
Yes.
But we'll touch base with that. But thanks again just for sharing your expertise, for adding to what we're trying to build here to allow marketing agencies to really grow and scale their business, provide great content and great chats like this. So, Austin, thanks again. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for tuning in to another great episode of the Marketing Umbrella Podcast, where we provide the information you need from successful leading marketers to build and grow your digital marketing agency. To learn more, go to umbrellaus.com.